What's up, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. Thought I would go live. I've got TikTok here and I've got YouTube here. So trying to do the old double for everybody. But the thing that I just saw something online and it kind of pissed me off. So I really wanted to talk about it. I wanted to get it off my chest in a live sense. Like there's a series I'm looking at doing, which is breaking down all of the sort of the bullcrap fitness myths that are out there. There's so many. There's so many. And there's so many people. There's always a gimmick, and there's always a thing where people are trying to sell you something, and it frustrates the shit out of me, honestly, because my background is I used to be a supplement salesperson. I used to have a supplement business where people would come to me all the time. And they would ask me things like, "Oh, should I take this fat burner?" Or what's the best? Do I need a protein shake to lose weight? And they've been sold all these ideas that those things were necessary. They've been sold that in order for you to lose weight, in order for you to lose body fat, for you to get fit, you have to do things like buy supplements that have shred in the name, right? Or you have to buy things that have fat burning specific, otherwise it's not going to do anything. And or you need a protein powder in order for you to get the results that you want, and all of that is just complete BS, right? But one of the most recent ones I found was from another supplement store. I got an ad for it, and I'm going to do a fucking short on it because it pissed me off. Was oh, now the title was like, now you can eat carbs and lose weight with our carb blocker supplement, right? Our special supplement that stops the uptake of carbs, so you can have carbs and lose weight. And there were people in the comments like, "Oh my god, I can't wait! Oh my god, this is going to be amazing!" It's like you can have carbs and you can lose weight at the same time. I want to say that again. You can have carbs and you can lose weight. You can lose body fat while eating carbs. It's this heinous, this bullshit from the industry that comes out that then says, "Oh, carbs are bad for you. You've got to cut out all carbs in order for you to lose weight." The problem is people will do that and yeah, they'll lose weight because they're cutting out an entire macronutrient group. They're cutting out an entire group of foods that also usually include highly palatable things. Can't have burgers anymore. Can't have pizza. Oh, that's got carbs in it, right? But it also has a shit ton of fat. Oh yeah, well, no one blames the fat. Everyone blames the carbs. Oh, I can't have sandwiches anymore. I used to have 5 pieces of toast with bread and butter. Oh my god, bread sandwich. Fuck. Used to eat so many carbs. I'll have a massive bowl of pasta or a massive thing of rice. Like this is the kind of stuff that people think of and eat when they're eating carbs. They don't manage their portions. You can't exactly eat that much of steak and high fat foods because they're more filling, right? So it's natural that you're going to end up losing a bit of weight. So carbs ended up sort of getting demonized in the industry, and people still blame carbs. People still blame sugars, like, "Oh, sugar's addictive." No, sugar's not fucking addictive, right? If you go and get a thing of white table sugar and you start spooning that shit into your mouth, you're gonna have you're gonna get 2, 3 spoons in before you are like, "Nah, I'm fucking done," right? I can't handle this shit anymore. Yeah. So don't tell me that sugar is addictive because it's not, right? You're going to go spoon it in, right? Go try it right now. And you're not going to tell me, "Oh yeah, no, sugar's not really that addictive." It's because sugar is mixed with fat, is mixed with crunchy, yummy, all the other sort of things. But that still gets the blame. People think, "Oh, sugar," because sugar is processed really quickly. It becomes, it's it gets processed into energy, and you use that energy really quickly. The problem is most people don't use that energy, right? Carbohydrates are used for energy. If they're not used for energy, they then get converted into body fat, right? That's the kind of that's the deal. That's what we're looking at here. That's the structure of your body. It will more easily turn dietary fat into body fat because it doesn't have to do anything, right? It doesn't have to do anything to sort of change the chemical composition of it in order for it to become a lipid, for it to become a fat. It can just go sort of straight from fat to fat. But no one talks about that. Everyone talks about how carbohydrates are energy, and if you don't use that energy, oh, it turns into body fat. Well, you're going to use that energy anyway. That's the first place your body goes. Then it converts to fat. Hey, Radical BFP, what's going on? Appreciate the follow. If you have any questions, let me know. Any other things in the fitness industry that you would like me to rant about, because I'm in a ranty mood this morning because I saw this ad about carb blockers, but you can still eat carbs, and it's complete bollocks, right? It's such a prevalent thing in the industry to find a demon, to find a thing to point out and go, "This is the issue. This is the problem. This is the one thing that if you change it, oh my God, you're going to get all these results." And for a lot of people, yes, they are going to get results from doing one or two of these things. Like whether it's, all you need to do is start running every day. If you go for a 5K run every day, you'll lose weight because running is the key. Well, no, it's not. But if you go from doing fucking nothing to then running or walking 5Ks a day, yes, you're going to probably start seeing some results. Same thing with carbohydrates. Like all of these things have merit to them in a closed environment. But when you take it out of that, you take it back to real life, most people aren't going to not eat carbs for the rest of their life. It's just not realistic for them. If you ask someone who's like, yep, I could go without carbs, I'm like, well, first of all, that sounds really fucking joyless. Who the hell doesn't want to have some kind of carbohydrate in their life, whether it's a dessert or, ice cream, pizza, burgers. Don't tell me that burgers are better without the bun, because I'm going to call absolute bullshit on you there. Make sure you are being real with yourself in what you feel you can actually do, what you feel you can actually maintain for a long period of time, and ignore the people that are trying to sell you something. There's always an angle to a lot of these things. You've got to really go into a lot of fitness stuff, being really aware and being aware of, all right, well, if these guys are telling me that I have to cut this thing out, and then they've got the book or the supplement or the secret diet template that no one's talking about, right? That's a real common thing at the moment. It's like, why is no one talking about this one simple thing that you can do? And all you have to do is this, cut out carbs. Oh my God, the thing that'll make you fucking, lose all the body weight in the world. No, it's bollocks. It's bollocks. It's bullshit. And I'm sick of it. And I'm going to start tearing down ads and things and people that I see, because it's preying on ignorance. It's preying on people that don't know any better, because they haven't done a nutrition degree, or they haven't done any courses or learned that information, because the education you get in school is relatively basic, right? All you get is usually, for most people, the food pyramid, and then you get told over and over again, oh, the food pyramid's terrible, the food pyramid is crap. All right, that's it tells you to eat all these refined carbohydrates, and meats are up here, and this is up here, blah 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 blah. It's like, fuck. Right? Everyone likes to be contrarian. Everyone likes to go against the things that the government say or do. It's like, there are some really good general guidelines in there. It's most people know actually what to do. They know that eating sort of relatively balanced, relatively whole foods is what's going to get you results long term, but you can't live your life in fear of every single other thing. If you listen to the amount of people that say, don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat that, you would end up eating nothing, because everyone has a reason for you to demonize one food or another. Everyone has a reason for you to not eat protein. And the vegans have, no, eat protein, it's bad for you. The meat's going to turn into colon cancer, right? It's, then there's the ethical side of it. And then you've got people saying, oh no, don't eat fats, because, fats are high in calories. You want to have, high protein, high carb. And then there's people who say, no, don't eat carbs, because they'll make you fat for some reason. I don't know why. They just seem to do that. But it's a lot easier than guiding someone through the nuance and saying, well, guess what? We can have some kind of balance. We can have a little bit of everything. We can have a bit of protein. We can have a bit of carbs. We can have a bit of fat. We can mix it all together. All right. Yeah, you're good. It's all going well. But that requires a level of self-restraint and a level of discipline, in that you can have everything. You can have everything. Sure, yes, you can. However, you've got to monitor your own amounts. You can't just completely cut one thing out. It's a very easy way to do it, is to cut one thing completely out of the diet, and then it's easy. I'm just not going to eat any, refined carbohydrates, is what a lot of people will say. So they'll cut out white rices, they'll cut out breads, they'll cut out, most pastas, that kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, you're cutting out a lot of foods that are easy to overindulge in, right? But again, go get yourself a bowl of pasta, right? A bowl of just straight up pasta, and start eating that. And you tell me that that's like the addictive thing. That's the part that makes it tasty. No, it's the fucking creamy Alfredo cheesy sauce that you slather on top of it, and and then you shovel that in as well. That's the stuff that makes people really gain weight, is those extra little bits and pieces that go on top of the carbs. It's the combination of foods that makes it the issue. But by cutting out the carb, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I go to a good barber. Also, genetics. I don't. My dad still has a head of hair like this in his. Where was he? No, 80. Jesus, no, 70. Yeah, in his 70s. Oh, don't tell my dad that I forgot how old he was. Tell him I thought he was younger. But that's the issue that most people tend to have, is they will cut out an entire food group. They'll be okay with that. Then they'll blame that food group, because they're like, oh, I cut it out and I got all these results. Yeah, no shit, you got all these results because you cut out like 80% of the calories you were eating. You didn't focus on what were the things you then replaced them with. Oh, I replaced it with lean meats. I can't tell. I can't tell that you don't listen to my advice. But if you do have any questions, or would you like some advice, feel free to pop them in the chat. I'm more than happy to help you out. That's what we're here for. Follow the page as well if you want more tips around that are probably going to be a little bit more shorter and condensed on fitness, on getting fit, on losing fat without all the bullshit. That's kind of what we try to do here at the Fit Dad Club. If you're not a dad, you can still take our advice. It's okay. It's not too dad specific. So you'll cut out a food group. A lot of people cut out a food group, be perfectly happy with it, but they won't look at the things that they then add in. It's like, oh yeah, I just stopped eating, carbs, and then I lost weight. Well, what did you replace it with? Well, I started eating, vegetables and high protein foods, and I started doing smoothies, and I ate protein powder and lean meats. Oh, so you started eating really high protein foods, and then you got results. But you're blaming the fact that you cut out carbs as the reason why you ended up getting the results. Right? People don't look at the whole context. They look at the one variable that they think matters, and then that's it. They look at the one variable they think matters, and then that's the whole thing. That's the whole reason why they ended up losing the weight. But as a result of eating that, they also then started on an exercise program, started hitting a minimum amount of steps, and started going to the gym and lifting weights. Oh, it was the carbs that I cut out that did it. No, it wasn't. It was a combination of factors. So my advice to you and my hope for you, if you're listening to this, is that you get out of the BS of the industry. You get out of the BS of health and fitness trying to sell you shit, always trying to sell you the one supplement, the one right thing, the one best idea, the one key to you getting the results is just this one thing that doctors don't tell you about and people don't tell you about, because it's all very, very simple at the end of the day. There's nothing that's super complicated. There's nothing that's super crazy. There's no secret trick or hack that's going to allow you to eat pizza and cookies and cake in the amounts that you want and still lose the weight that you want. It's just not going to happen. You're going to have it. You're going to have a period of time where, well, this is actually a really good point as to what I'm bringing up. So you can eat things like cookies and cakes and pizza and whatever on a fat loss diet and still lose fat. Problem is that it's just not going to be in the amounts that you want. You could have probably one pizza, and that would be your entire day's worth of calories, right? And for most people, 3/4 of a pizza to a pizza could be relatively easy to polish off. And that's most of your day, if not all of your day's worth of calories. And that might even just be your maintenance level. That might just be enough if you ate that in a day to maintain weight, not enough to lose weight. So, and on top of that, looking at daily activity and exercise. So I do so good for 2 to 4 weeks, lose like 8 kilos, and then get angry and hungry. See, this sounds like you're doing way too much. If you're losing like 8 kilos in 2 to 4 weeks, first of all, the big drops are going to be from water weight initially. When you are overeating or you're over-consuming carbohydrates specifically, carbs will cause a little bit more water retention, right? High carb, high salt foods will tend to have you retaining more water. Your muscles will be full of glycogen. Your muscles will be essentially just fuller and bigger, right? And have more energy, and more glycogen is that sort of easily accessible energy for them. You start working out or moving, you go on a diet, you start eating less, there's going to be less weight of food in your body. There's going to be less food mass because you're eating less, and as a result there's less in you. There's going to be less water retention because you're, as a result, probably going to be eating less carbs. But that sounds like way too severe of a diet. I can understand a couple of kilos, maybe 1 or 2 kilos of water weight in the initial stages, but 8 kilos is crazy. If you're already getting hungry week 2 to 4 in your diet, then you're doing too much. You're in too much of a deficit. You shouldn't be getting that hungry that quickly in your diet. That is a reminder, though, for most people to then go, well, when it comes to my diet, I need to look at how satiating or how filling are the foods that I'm eating. How filling is the meal that I'm eating? Am I just doing what other people say? Oh yeah, you can have this and that and whatever, but you're not getting enough proteins in, so you're not feeling full. You're not getting enough fiber and vegetables in, so you're not feeling full. You want to eat as much as you can while still losing weight. That is the Goldilocks zone. You want to eat as much as you can and train as little as you can while still losing weight. Now, it takes a bit of time to find that balance, but if you're already hungry after 2 to 4 weeks and you're losing a shit ton of weight, you need to maybe up the amount that you're eating, or make sure that you're obviously training as a part of that. You can increase it even more, but those are the key things that you need to be aware of. If you're losing fat that fast, or losing weight that fast, it's probably not, hey, Radical, thanks for coming back. If you're losing fat that fast, thanks for following, Atama. Hopefully we can help you out. But if you're losing fat that fast, then you're dieting way, way, way too hard, way too much of a crash diet. You're there's something to be said for something that like a rapid fat loss diet between sort of 6 and 8 weeks, just from a metabolic standpoint. That there's benefits to it. But for most people, if you don't have the practice of then going back and eating at maintenance, then you're just going to put it all back on. So in future, if you're going to try and lose this body fat, a couple of things. Number one, make sure your activity level is high enough to support a bit of fat loss while still being able to eat enough. Make sure you're not meant to be feeling super, super, super hungry in those first weeks. However, if that is a response to feeling like a little bit of hunger, then that's more of an emotional thing that you might need to work on in terms of your emotional response to food and to hunger. Right? Let's say you feel really, really hungry or like a little bit hungry, and then it causes almost like an intense fight or flight response, like, oh my God, I need to eat food right now. It's like, why are you not okay with sitting with that feeling of hunger? Right? Why are you not okay with sitting with that feeling of hunger? It's something that we need to experience. In the Western culture, we don't experience hunger. We don't experience real, true hunger very often. We've always got snacks and Uber Eats and things to be like delivery to your door, 5 minutes or less. We've got all these things that are easily available to us. We've got microwave things we can pop in and, ready in 10 minutes. Like, we don't have to wait long for food. A lot of us have prepackaged stuff ready to go like that. I get abused by my parents. That is not good. I'm sorry to hear that. That's not good. My name is Jason, and I'm here at the Fit Dads Club. That is my name. And that's what I do. So you've got to be aware of the fact that, is that an emotional response to hunger, or is it just because you've gone on such a harsh calorie deficit, your protein's not high enough, you're not eating enough fibrous, filling meals? Because you can really, like, if you choose the right food, you can lose weight and not feel hungry at all in the process. Like, that is legitimately what happens for a lot of people, especially when they just get started. Tell a teacher, tell a loved one that you can trust, tell someone, an adult that is outside of your family that can help you, because fuck, that's hard. From Australia, if you couldn't tell. But yeah, this isn't therapy. You shouldn't tell strangers on the internet won't be able to help you as much as other trusted adults will. Usually teachers, bunch of teachers all at once would be good, because then there's a group, and then if one of them's a bad apple, then it won't affect the issues. Hello, user 8132799. What's up? You can be not hungry on a calorie deficit. You can be in a calorie deficit and still feel relatively full if you're choosing the right foods, if you're eating the right amount of stuff. What happens if you don't like vegetables? That's a really good point. If you don't like vegetables, there's a couple of options here, right? First of all, no one loves, like, I don't eat broccoli and go, delicious, right? Although, if you cook it right, it can be something that's tasty, because no one doesn't like all fucking vegetables, right? That's complete bullshit. It's you won't like boiled Brussels sprouts and maybe some of the steamed carrots, or there'll be a couple of vegetables that you really don't like. And for a lot of people, it's like, oh yeah, I don't like this no, I can't tell you how to start a company. I have no idea what country you're in, any details. I can tell you there's fat though, right? You can trim the fat from your company physically. No one doesn't like all vegetables, right? If you say, oh, I just don't like all vegetables, that's a fucking cop-out, right? It's a cop-out because you like the taste of pizza and burgers. And in comparison to that, yes, vegetables don't taste as flavorful. Fucking no shit, right? You're not eating them because you're trying to get the most flavor out of them. You're eating them because they're high volume, and you're eating them because they're good for you at the end of the day. Sometimes fat loss and getting fit and being the best version of yourself requires you to do shit that you don't 100% like all the time, right? That's life. Life involves doing things that you don't love sometimes, at least sometimes. So then it's finding, well, let's narrow that down. What vegetables do I like? What vegetables do I enjoy, right? Like, for myself and my wife, we don't have like every single vegetable under the sun. There are some that we don't like, and that's okay. We'll eat carrots, broccoli, and capsicum more often than not. Oftentimes, it'll be cooked into a bigger dish, so you don't even know they're there. Sometimes they'll be roasted in the oven with a bit of salt and pepper and olive oil. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now, if you have proper seasoned vegetables that are cooked well, you'll probably find that you actually enjoy some of them, but find the ones that you do like. Right? No one hates lettuce, right? Yeah, we don't love it, but it's like a nothing vegetable, right? Same thing with like cucumber. Most people will be fine with that. It's a very nothing vegetable, but it adds volume. So I challenge you to question yourself on, well, I don't like all vegetables, right? Because you probably like potatoes in some form, and that's a vegetable, right? So it's already bullshit. So be aware of what that is. Let me go through. There was a couple of other ones. I do have a family. For me, I think I failed because I looked too much into numbers. Like, hell yeah, burnt 649 calories or whatever. Had a good day, then I get to go get that pie. That's a really big point, right? That's a really big point. Lettuce and cucumber make me gag. All right, so you don't have those particular ones. There might be some other ones that don't. You don't need to eat salads in order to lose weight. It's not about a salad, right? You can have, again, chicken breast and roast vegetables, right? That's a very different story than salads. Maybe it's like the water content of those foods or whatever, right? You're not meant to be deep throating the cucumber. You know, that's not the vibe, but the it might be the texture of them, right? Everyone has some things. So ignore that, like, you don't have to eat any particular vegetables in order to lose weight. I recommend some kind of veggies, right? Whether it's even a fucking pumpkin, sweet potato. There's so many different vegetables that you can have. Think about the ones you do enjoy, the texture that you're all right with, and the way that you enjoy them. Some people like them steamed, some people don't. Some people like them roasted in the oven, some people don't. Some people like fresh, some people don't. You've got to find the balance for yourself. There might be a couple of people that are that picky that don't like anything at all, ever, whatever. It's fine. You'll find other ways. You can grate carrots into a minced dish, and it'll sort of, then it'll be like the texture will be pretty much the exact same, but you'll have some health in there, right? Grate a zucchini into it. I don't fucking know, but you've got to find the ones that you do enjoy and the ways that you do enjoy eating them. There's no particular way. You don't have to have salads, right? So for a tama, if you're burning a certain number of calories, right? If you're burning a certain number of calories, that is often really inaccurate. That's the problem, right? They are really, really they're really, really, yeah, exactly. Alison, you don't have to. You don't have to. So there are certain foods, if you feel like you'll eat them, you don't need carrot. Sorry, you don't need celery. You don't need cucumber. You don't need lettuce. It's not required, right? So find the vegetables, or go lean on the vegetables and the fruits as well that you do enjoy, that you can eat without gagging. Those are the sort of the things, and the preparations that work. If you haven't tried, again, I'm going to harp on this: air fried or roasted vegetables. Different. They're a fucking different ball game to raw vegetables. So as far as the amount of calories that you're burning, that is not the watches and the rings. I've got a ring that tracks my movement. They're very, very inaccurate. You should be setting a calorie goal regardless of the amount of calories you burn. You should be setting a calorie goal, and that is your calorie goal. This is the target included with all of my extra movement and stuff that I do. This is my calorie goal. And if I hit that calorie goal and don't go over it, I'm going to lose body fat, and I'm going to move me towards my goal. That should be front of mind. If that's not front of mind, then you're not going to get the result. If that's not front of mind and really sort of the big focus for you, then you're going to be like, oh yeah, I guess I can have some, a pie or whatever. Part of that might be self-sabotage. Part of that might be, maybe I'm not confident enough that I'll actually get to my goal, so I'm going to sabotage myself, and I'm going to, eat this extra food because I'm worried about potentially, what if I keep trying and I try really hard and I hit all my goals and I don't get the result, then I'll feel like a failure, right? That's the reason why a lot of people stop. So is it an emotional thing? Or is it just simply I'm giving myself the excuse to eat more because I feel like I've burned more? But these things are bullshit. They don't track very well. That's going to be there's another video for you. The fitness trackers are bullshit as well. It's consistency, and it takes 21 days to break a bad habit. True. It's consistency is important. Consistency is going to be the thing that gets you going. You've got to hit that 1,800 calories. It actually takes a lot longer. It takes 77 days for you to really sort of cement in a new habit. The best way to break a habit is to incorporate a new habit in its place. The thing is, there's no such thing as bad eating, right? There's no such thing as bad eating. Food is not good or bad. Food doesn't have morals, right? It's not trying to be good. It's not trying to be bad. Food just is. We're the ones that add all the labels, right? There are times when chocolate is perfectly fine. There are times when a pie is exactly what you want, exactly what you need. It's about looking at that through the concept and the context of how does that fit in with my goals, and understanding tracking food, understanding calories and proteins and fats and carbs, and where that fits into your daily sort of rhythm, and then the effect that has. All right, if I eat that, I'm going to feel really good because I enjoy that food, and it's still going to fit my calories. Perfect. If I eat that and it makes me go over, maybe that, and then the bigger picture is that sets me back from achieving my goal. And then it's understanding, why is my goal important to me? If you don't have a strong reason why your goal is important to you, then those little things are going to win, right? It's very easy for the motivation to wane if you don't really have a strong goal that you're working towards. If you're not like, I really want to fucking achieve this goal, it's important for me because I want to be an example for my kids. I want to live long. I don't want to be able to move and run around with them. These are the reasons why we work with a lot of dads, is because those are the big reasons they get fit. It's like, fuck, I want to set an example for my kids. I don't want to pass down these like generational layers of overeating and under moving and sort of beating up on myself and just sitting on the couch. I don't want to pass that down to them. So as a result, I'm going to be the best version of myself. What does the best version of myself do? They get up off the fucking couch. They move. They work on their goals. They have discipline. They're strict. I do, the things that will get me the result. It's just what I do. So if you don't have that big, powerful reason, yeah, guess what? You're probably not going to lose that much body weight, because the big, powerful reason is the thing that keeps you going when it gets hard. And it does get hard before it gets easy. That's the hard thing about losing body fat. It gets hard before it gets easy. It does take a little bit of time, but you've got to break a bad habit by replacing it with a good habit, right? So a habit that's, the way that I would say it is like not serving you, right? Let's say there might be a certain food that you have. Let's say you have a couple of pies. Let's say you have 2 meat pies a day. We'll take that down to 1 meat pie, and then we'll sub one of the other meat pies out with a protein shake. Okay, cool. We're starting to change the composition of our meals, right? Let's say we eat out 5 nights a week. Let's change that to eating out 2 nights a week. And then the other nights we cook, right? And we start to learn about how to cook, right? That might be the focus that we start to do. Little bit by little bit, we'll start to swap things out. But the bigger overarching picture has to be, this is fucking important to me. This is a reason why it's important to me. And these behaviors are leading me to this result. If you don't have that link, if you don't have the link of these behaviors are going to equal this result, then you're never going to do it. The problem is, if you've done this over and over again on your own, right? This is why a coach is really beneficial. If you've done it over and over again on your own, you've got the issue where you will jump on, you'll start, you'll lose the weight, then you'll get hungry or you'll fall off the bandwagon. Then you'll be like, you know what? These things don't fucking work for me. So even before you start again, you're probably already in your head like, yeah, no, these things don't work for me. I'm not going to do it. It's just not going to work. Right. That might be the mental chatter that's going on. And then that's the issue for a lot of people, is they already think that they've failed or think they're going to fail before they've even started. You ignored me, Circumcision King. I don't know what to say, but that was probably a while ago that came through, but fuck. That's a new one. I haven't had that one before. I'm gonna get a jacket printed with Circumcision King on the back of it now. Thank you. I like I appreciate the nickname. I like it. But yeah, so if you don't have a strong why, like a strong reason why you're doing this, if you don't have a clear goal and a clear picture, and if you don't have faith and trust that the process will get you there if you follow it, those 3 things are the things that you need. If you don't have those 3 things, then it's going to be really, really difficult. The way you make those things easier is by eating high volume foods, right? Doesn't have to be salads. It can be, vegetables are a good one, but they're not the only high volume food that there is. Smoothies are another really good one. You get some fruits in there, you blend them up, it creates a big voluminous thing, right? Those are, again, high volume foods that can really, really help. Your lean proteins are going to be a big focus. They're going to keep you fuller for longer. They're going to keep you happier for longer. They're going to keep your muscle mass around, so you're losing body fat as opposed to losing anything else. So yeah, you're losing body fat as opposed to muscle mass. That's really the goal. But yeah, that's pretty much what I had to talk about, plus some additional rants. You got any other questions? Anything else that you wanted to know about or ask while I'm here, while I'm spitting facts, at least according to myself? Where did my water go? There it is. Oh, parched, absolutely parched. It's turning into an ASMR stream. I can, drink my water really, really close and make weird noises. I've got my other microphone here. Ooh, fancy boy shit. Cool. Any other questions or anything else anyone want to make me rant about? If not, I might jump off and go to the gym actually while we've got a break in the rain, so I can walk down and not get soaked. That would be ideal. I appreciate not getting wet. It's a passion of mine. Yeah, but anyway, I'm going to wrap this up there. If you have any questions, feel free to jump on, follow the page, follow the Fit Dad Club, and comment on one of the videos and just say, hey, I got a question. Love to know more. Or, hey, here's a thing. Is this bullshit? Is it not bullshit? And I'll be happy to break it down as best as possible. Appreciate you joining, man. Yeah, really looking forward to seeing you around. Check out some of the other videos on the page as well. And then, yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them through and we'll see if we can help you out. Lots of love. appreciate you jumping on. Everyone else as well. Let me end the stream. I'll end this one here. Boom. And then I'll end y'all too. Peace out.